No, I just made a video and I deleted it because it was an honest video about why I would be pissed off at a teenager stealing my board in the library and thinking I was the fool for thinking that's exactly what a little fat teenager and thief was going to do. And I mostly complained about how, well, that's just what it's like in the Republican sphere of influence, is you're just unbelievably, in some cases, an individual who's the target of prejudice and the target of just outright stupidity. That liberals don't hide their stupidity. They're either A, just so idiotic that they don't really know right from wrong, and they're trying wrong, hopefully, or without hope, but maybe for some sort of direction. While Republicans, who are bad people, they just really think they're so smart they can get away with everything. They think they're so fast they can get away with everything. They think they're so scary they can get away with everything. Okay, a teenager sat by me, sat by my board more like, rested his hand ever so closely to where I leaned my board.
Wait.
And I was noticing his hand was getting twitchy, getting closer. He didn't say hello. He didn't say hello. Now, in high school and middle school, people like to start talking to me before they make fun of me. But this guy, nah, he was just trying to play cool until he could run away and snatch the board, and he thought he was a bit bigger than me. So I bet he really thought if I caught him, he'd fight me for my own property. That is, without a doubt, the stupid Republican mindset of, if I can steal it, it's mine. And if it's mine, I'm allowed to fight for it, even if it's stolen. Whew. This is why I didn't finish high in my class, because I ended up having to take classes with just the stupidest people, just the dumbest, stupidest people on the planet. Dumb, stupid, and mean. But I finished my classes. I finished community college. I was so heartbroken by being beaten up by my college roommates that I didn't have the ability to get over my depression and finish my degree. I was too heartbroken. And then a number of my relatives passed away. I ended up restarting my life as almost a mute person, barely speaking, which is actually counter to my nature, because I was just heartbroken for a greater part of a decade. One of my teachers, ironically, the teacher one of my college roommates didn't want to hear about, she went through that kind of trauma. She ended up staying in a bed for 3 years. She was unbelievably heartbroken from one of her relatives passing away. I was double heartbroken. Like, all my friends either gone or hating me, and my family passing away, truly, I was more alone in the world than people could ever relate to, and they don't. Most people in the Republican sphere of influence have no ability to relate to anyone. They're so narcissistic and attached to what the television is telling them that when in real life it's called for them to be people of character, they treat it like a joke, or they treat it like a job they don't want to do. They don't actually use their heart, mind, and soul for anything. So as I picked up my board, his hand twitched. I made no move against him. So the only reason he was so defensive that he couldn't focus on what he was doing, because what he was trying to steal was now going away. "100% the exhausting reason." You know what? And I cited too many reasons that were generalizing why I disliked this thief. Not everybody similar to him is a thief. And I was so annoyed at that. I was starting to sound like a biased old man. So you know what? I redid the video. Still frustrated that this is still the environment that produces people playing the fool, trying to steal whatever they can from anyone. Strangers, friends, stores. It's kind of sad. Whatever. I've had to live off my mother's generosity and pennies and dollars I make daily. I don't want to apply to a work where I don't have a residence. So rather than starving, I make dollars or pennies. Barely enough to keep myself too much starving. But at least I don't compromise my character. So I got that going for me, which is pretty sweet.